Here I am on my ride to work on a Thursday morning in June, and I'll be riding from Woburn to Burlington. It's a short distance, but I take a slightly longer route so that I can enjoy it a bit more. Don't have any early calls or Zoom meetings today. Not super early anyway, so I can take a little longer to get to work and enjoy the ride. And what I thought I'd do today is just pass along some safety tips that I use as I'm riding. I'm not a safety expert by any means. I'm an MSF rider coach, and I've done, the training for that has certainly helped me, I think, become a safer rider, and I've done other courses as well. But what I'll cover today, it'll be a short ride to work and just some very basic safety tips. And we can start actually right here, because when I pull up behind a car at a stoplight, I always try to leave a few feet in front of me, and so that and I always stop in first gear so that I'm ready to pull away in the first place when the light goes green. But also, if I hear a screech of brakes behind me, I can pull to the right, pull forward, pull to the right or to the left of the car in front of me, and escape being hit from behind. If I am right on the bumper of the car in front of me at a stoplight and I hear that screech of brakes behind me, I'm also watching my mirrors as well. But if I hear that screech of brakes behind me and I'm up against the bumper of the car in front of me, I've got nowhere to go. I've got no escape. So that's just one safety tip. When I stop behind a vehicle, whether it's at a stoplight or a stop sign, always leave a little bit of space in front of me so that I have room to get out of the way of anyone coming behind me. And as I said, I'm watching my mirrors the whole time. Sometimes if I'm waiting and I hear a car approaching or see a vehicle approaching from behind me, I'll sometimes flash my brakes as well, just to make myself a little more visible. Something that I'll mention as I'm riding to work this morning is lane positions. So basically, I'm riding. This is like a single lane road, but we break that road into 3 sections. So LP1 is where I'm riding like in the left section of the road, closest to the yellow line. LP2 is kind of in the middle where I am now. LP3 would be to the right, closest to the curb, sorry. And as I was coming through that left-hand curve, you may have noticed that I moved out to the right to LP3, which allowed me to see through that curve more easily, and also be seen more easily by oncoming traffic. It also allows me, when I'm going through that curve, to make sure that as I'm coming out of the curve, I'm not running wide. I'm pointing into a safe path on the road ahead of me. And generally, when I'm following a car, as I am now, I leave a reasonable following distance, so that if a car is, turning right, as that guy did there, I've got time to adjust my speed and lane position in a very controlled way, not have to do anything urgent or aggressive, braking and things like that. Try to avoid those things as much as possible, keep everything smooth as much as I can. I know that I'm going to be just taking the right fork down here, and I'll be pulling up to the stoplight. I'm staying a little bit to the left so that if there's any cars behind me that want to turn right, and you know, this is a light where you can turn right after a stop on red, I'm not blocking anybody. I see a car, actually they're not coming behind me, but okay, so now I've got the green light, but I'm still watching as I ride through that intersection, because I just want to make sure that there's nobody running a red or anything like that. Unfortunately, we know that people do crazy things sometimes, and I had the green light, I had the right of way, but that won't help me in the emergency room. So I'm always watching and cautious, especially that particular intersection is a very busy one, and so I'm always very cautious. So here I'm riding kind of in LP3, and I've got a right-hand curve up ahead of me. So by staying LP3, it gives me better visibility through that curve, and then as I'm going through the curve I can come back into LP3 over on the right here. Brow of a hill like this one, I always ride in lane position 2, pretty much in the middle, because I don't know what's over the brow of that hill, and being in LP2 gives me options to the left or right if there's anything unexpected there. Curve to the left, so I'm moving out to the right to LP3 until I can see that the road ahead of me is clear. You probably noticed I rolled off a bit of throttle there, especially since there was a car pulling out of his driveway. Brow of a hill at lane position 2. And just ride on down. I do ride a line, and I ride I make conscious decisions about the line that I ride. I'm not going to talk too much about that today, because that's a very distinct technique, and I won't have time to talk about it really just on a short ride to work. And there are plenty of people that know more about that stuff than I do as well. So pulling up at a stoplight here. This is also a light where I could turn right on the red after a full stop, but as I'm looking down to my left, there's some pretty thick leaves and bushes that mean that I can't see far enough down that road to take a risk on pulling out until this light turns green. I'm just not going to risk it. There's no need to rush. Traffic comes along this road very quickly at times, and like that guy, I didn't see him. If I had been pulling out, I wouldn't have seen him until it was too late, and maybe cause him a problem. I don't want to cause myself a problem, don't want to make a bad day for anybody else either. Now I've got the green light, I can ride through safely. I'm in LP2. I know the road is fairly straight here. Another good reason for keeping a good following distance behind the car in front of me. You see that car just pulled across left in front of me. There was plenty of room, there was no problem, but if I'm following closely behind the car in front of me, it's very possible that I would be hidden from that guy that was turning left, and he might not see me. He might think it's clear behind that car in front, commit to his turn left, and then he sees me too late and gives me a very bad day. So another good reason for not following too closely. Have plenty of following distance from the car in front of you. Another reason is that it allows me to see around the car in front of me more easily, and you know, I can look further ahead along the road. I'm trying to read the road, which way, you know, for curves and turns, intersections, stoplights, traffic, all of these things. I'm trying to look as far into the distance as I can, so that I can be prepared for anything that occurs up ahead. Another stoplight here, and I'm watching behind me. There's a car pulling up, but he's stopping nicely. Another good reason though for leaving a few feet distance from the car in front of you when you stop at a light or at a stop sign is the air's cleaner. You're not breathing in exhaust fumes. That certainly helps a bit as well. Lots of intersections, restaurants and shopping malls along this road, so I'm looking left and right for cars wanting to turn left. This guy is reversing back into me. We see all sorts of things. So again, you know, I was glad I wasn't right up behind that guy. He may not have been able to, if I was right up behind on his bumper, he may not even have been able to see me in his mirror. He would have reversed back and I would have had a problem. So I'm finding plenty of examples and reasons for leaving that little bit of distance behind the car in front of you when you stop at a light. You may have noticed as well, like in this case, I'm positioned that if there was a problem behind me, I had an escape path left. When I was at a light earlier, I positioned myself slightly to the right and I had an escape path right if there was a problem behind me. So I always try to know where my escape path is going to be as I pull up to the light, pull up to the car in front of me. And if I hear anything behind me, I don't have to make a decision, oh, do I go left or right? I know which way I'm going. I know where my escape path is. Bit of slow riding here so that I don't have to put a foot down, but the light has changed very quickly, so I'm going to have to stop here. Car behind me has seen me. I do sometimes flash my brakes, as I said, I think earlier, to make myself more visible. And I like it when, like, I don't know if you can see in my mirrors there, the guy behind me has left a decent gap between me and him, although he got beeped to move forward, so he's getting up closer. That's okay, no problem. I know that he's seen me, and there's still a reasonable gap between me and him behind me. And I've also got room in front of me as well, in case I need it. Even though I know he's stopped, I'm still watching him in my mirrors, because you know what happens sometimes. People are checking their phone or doing other things, tuning the radio and so on, and you know, your foot can ease off the brake a little bit, especially on a downhill like this, and just kind of roll forward a little bit. So I'm still watching in my mirrors. I'm looking all around pretty much all the time, 360-degree awareness, looking as far ahead as I can, but also knowing what's around me, beside me. I'm watching for intersections, certainly. So just coming up, actually, I know that there's an intersection on the right, and it's often a place where cars are waiting to pull out onto this main street. This one here. All clear this time, but if there was someone waiting there, and you know, I would be extra cautious just going through there, maybe shave off 1 or 2 miles an hour in case I have to take some evasive action, someone pulling out. And they don't always pull right out, but what a lot of drivers do, I've seen, is they just kind of nudge the nose of their car out into the road. And so I just like to be, you know, stay out of their way, basically. And I've got a nice, one of my favorite turns on this route to work coming up. It's a right turn, and I like to trail brake this one, downshift, but I'm holding on to the brakes as I go through the turn, and then when I'm pointed in the direction I want to go, release those brakes and a nice acceleration out of that turn. This guy's turning left, but he's waiting for me. Thank you very much. But you notice that I just pulled over slightly, so that if I had to make an evasive maneuver, I'm in a better position to do so. Also, changing lane position like that, having that left to right movement or right to left movement, whichever way you need to go, can help make me more visible as well. You know, I'm not getting hidden by the background or merging into the background, so to speak. I like that turn as well. Nice, reasonably tight turn from a stop. This car is backing out, but he's seen me. Thank you. So this road, this stretch of road here, has some you know, gentle but reasonable curves. So I just basically choose my line and ride that line through these curves. I know that there's a busy intersection up ahead here, and I'm going straight, so I'm going to stay to the right, LP3, lane position 3. And all clear, but again, you notice that I shaved off just a little bit of throttle coming through there, just in case, because that's when you're coming out from that junction, that intersection. It's not always easy to see what's coming down, and you know, I'm a motorcycle. I'm thinner and smaller than a car or a truck, so I'm just being super cautious. Now I know that coming up ahead there's a really nice curve that I like, but right in the middle of that curve is an intersection, and on the right, and there are often cars coming in the other direction that want to turn left. I would love to, you know, be able to ride through that curve, get my lean on and so on, but I'm always need to be aware that there could be a vehicle turning left in front of me. So I'm downshifting, I'm looking through. This guy's turning left, but he's seen me, no problem. Once I know that I'm in the clear, I have clear road ahead of me, I can get back on the throttle, not aggressively obviously, but and again a stretch of road with some reasonable curves. I'm choosing my line to give me good visibility through the curve, and also to give oncoming traffic the best opportunity to see me as well. Brow of a hill, so come into lane position 2 right in the middle. Yeah, cars turning left in front of me, that one was no problem, but what sometimes happens is the second car will see the first car go and try to kind of tailgate them through, and that can be an awkward situation as well. So again, I was watching carefully and just shaved off a little bit of speed in case I needed to react. These guys look like they're all turning right, so I can go. This is a school, entrance to a school here. This can sometimes be very busy in the mornings depending on the timing. It looks okay this morning. Car approaching behind me, just flashing my brakes a little bit. He's seen me, no problem. There are a couple of strip malls on the left here, and a couple of gas stations on the left as well. There's very often traffic wants to turn left from this left lane, so I'm staying right, and also my office is just up ahead on the right as well, so I'm staying in the right lane. When I get here early like this to the car park and it's almost empty, I like to practice a few maneuvers, my U-turns. Try to tighten them up as I go. First couple, just don't try to over tighten, but then tighten them up. And just a couple to keep my skills up in that area, and then park up in my parking space. And end the video there.